Hello guys and welcome to a new YouTube video on my channel. So in today's video I would like to talk about my own experience working as a Luxembourgish language teacher. But guys, before starting today's video I would like to say some things about me. Well, actually I studied electrical engineering and I specialized in automation and energy technology. I studied electrical engineering in Germany, respectively in Trier, and after my study, actually I wanted to look for a job in Luxembourg, a job related to my study. And so 2 years ago, I went to a job hunting place called Movie Job here in Luxembourg. And at that time, actually, I was looking for a job which has something to do with my study. But the thing was, at that time, I also found something quite interesting, something which has to do with language learning. And guys, you probably know I really like learning languages. Actually, for those who don't know me, so a few years ago, it was, I would say, 7 years ago, I really had the quite crazy idea to teach myself 6 languages on my own, and today I can speak them, pretty good. I would say 5 of them on a really fluent level, and one, I would say intermediate level, which is crazy. But about this Luxembourgish teacher thing. The thing was that at that time, I found a company who was looking for a Luxembourgish language teacher. And the thing was that at that time, I was thinking like, okay, maybe I should give a try. And also, guys, about me, actually before becoming a Luxembourgish language teacher, I've already had some experience in teaching. But it was teaching mathematics, physics, or computer science, something like that. And so I went there, I was talking to the company, and I was just giving them my CV, hoping that maybe they might take me, that they might, that they might be interested in my CV, and also that I told them I really like learning languages, and also that I taught myself 6 languages on my own, and so therefore I really do know what are good methods to achieve your own language goals. And so at that time, I could remember I was also looking for other jobs. I also applied for other different companies. And then afterwards, I got some different, some different answers from different companies. And one of them was even the language company where I could work as a Luxembourgish teacher. And to be honest, I just thought at the time that I want to try something different, completely different, which has nothing to do with my study. And so, I went to a job interview to this company. I will not say which company I worked for. This is all private, but I only want to share with you my own journey. So I went there, I had a job interview, and they were quite interested in me. And especially, I think the main reason why they were really interested in me was also all the language I knew to speak. I mean, on my CV, no joke, guys, I really wrote 9 languages on my CV because it is really true. I can really speak them. And I mean, the thing is, here in Luxembourg, speaking 4 languages or 5 languages, that's not impressive. That's quite normal, But someone who speaks 9 languages, this is different story. I mean, I would say like this, even Luxembourgish people feel a little bit small compared to me, but I don't want to say that I'm better, but it's only that 9 languages in Luxembourg, that's quite impressive, especially considering that I taught these languages for myself, on my own, 6 languages, English included. And then I had a job interview, and yes, I was accepted. But the thing was, I didn't become automatically a Luxembourgish teacher. Because the thing is, I also had to do, I would say, a certain training, to learn how to teach in front of class, how to make a lesson interactive, and especially also fun. It should not be, in a traditional way where someone has to learn grammar or something like that. No, but it should be fun. And so I was really happy. And so I had my training. It was April 2024. And I could remember at the first time, what they told us, it has a lot to do with comprehensible input. For those people who don't know what comprehensible input is, actually I've made a video, you can check it here, but I will quickly explain to you. comprehensible input means that, for example, someone speaks your target language, but you do understand what this person is trying to tell you because this person makes the message comprehensible. I give an example, okay? For example, I would say, I don't know, here. Dadas eng banan. Again, dadas eng banan. For those who don't speak Luxembourgish but could understand the message, I would say congratulations, because this is comprehensible input, because even though you don't speak Luxembourgish, you could understand what I was saying. For example, dadas eng banan. Huh? Dadas eng banan. You know, that's how you acquire a new language. And this was quite funny for me because actually this whole comprehensive input thing, I was familiar with that before that. I knew that, you know, so for me it was quite easy. And yeah, during the training, it was quite fun because sometimes, you know, there were also 5 other Luxembourgish students, and it was weird to pretend that the other people couldn't speak Luxembourgish at all. But the thing is, guys, it's quite important. The job that I've had, you know, I mean, none of them was a Luxembourgish native speaker. Actually, many of them were even French speakers. And I would say like this, okay? From a point of view of a French speaker, learning Luxembourgish is really tough. It is really tough because it's quite different. I mean, French and Luxembourgish, they are not the same languages, you know? And yeah, it was quite interesting. And so therefore, yeah, for me, it was quite second nature. And then, yeah, I don't want to talk a lot about my training. It's mainly like, you know, comprehensible input, make a lesson more interactive, which means that the person, the student, has to speak a lot, not the teacher, which makes a lot of sense because the thing is, the goal is that the student is able to speak the target language, not the teacher, because the teacher, he obviously can speak the language. And after the training, which lasts 1 month, I had also a final exam to see if I was the right person, you know, to become a teacher, and I passed. Yeah, I've passed. And I'm so happy. I'm really happy. And after that, yeah, I started working the 16th May 2024. And I could remember in the beginning, I was really scared, a little bit nervous, because I got really my first lesson, my true first lesson with, yeah, I think it was, yeah, with French native speakers. And it was quite weird because the thing is, you know, before that, I was also teaching, but it was more like just for fun, you know, teaching someone maths or physics or electrical engineering. But this time, this work related. And so I knew that I should be perfect. I mean, I forced myself to be perfect. And yeah, guys, just about me, my students, those were adults working from different companies in Luxembourg. For example, Spurcase, CFL, Fonds du Logement, you name it. In the beginning, it was an online lesson. And I was really afraid. I mean, I was really scared, nervous, because I was thinking like, I hope they will like me. And also, one important thing about my job is also that doing my job, I have to speak in Luxembourgish. I must not speak in a foreign language, because the goal is that the students, they get enough input, you know, input as much as possible, but the message should also be comprehensible. And yeah, it was quite tough. I have to say, in the beginning, it was quite tough because it was level A 2.1, and the thing is about this level, actually the student should have some knowledge, but the point is, guys, this is now the difference between theory and reality. In theory, you are supposed to have a good level, you know, to know some things. But in reality, there are many people, they forgot a lot of things, you know, we learned something again and something like that. You know, that they were saying like, yeah, I had to work, or sometimes they forgot to learn this and they didn't revise it. Yeah. And then after that, yeah, I was quite nervous after my first lesson. But guys, this is one important thing about being a teacher, you know. In the beginning, you will be bad. That's the truth. But you will get better. I mean, as you keep getting more lessons with different people, you will improve a lot. So about my job, you know, actually my job was mainly 80% online. So I was working remotely. And 20%, yeah, on place. For example, I was going to different companies, which was really crazy for me. I mean, I went to different companies to give Luxembourgish lessons. For example, I went to Lux Trust, I went to Fonds du Logement, I also went to the headquarters of CFL. So, yeah, was quite crazy, but also quite interesting, to be able to visit so many different companies and also to see inside how it works and also to give Luxembourgish lessons. And this is quite crazy because, this whole language thing, I started only as a hobby, back then when I was a university student, it was just for fun, but never had I thought that someday it will really become like a work, And then after that, as you keep getting more lessons and more lessons, you will become much more comfortable talking to students. And also about my lessons, I have the complete freedom to make the lessons how I want to do. And what I also notice is also doing my lessons, I can say I got a lot of inspiration from italki. The way how I talk, it's more, my lessons, they are not like grammar based. It's much more like conversation based, I'm not there to teach you grammar or other things. No, I'm just there to help you to speak. And also one more important thing about lessons is also that I'm not there to judge you, If someone makes a mistake, it's okay. That's completely okay. That's completely fine. I'm really relaxed with that. Why? Because for me personally, I've also had the experience. I taught myself 6 languages, English included. So I do know how it is, to embarrass yourself, to not speak perfectly, and also not to have the confidence to use a foreign language. That's it's a thing about confidence, Especially Luxembourgish. You have to be confident making mistakes. You have to be confident not being perfect. And so that's what I was doing with my students, because there were some people, they were really, I would say, afraid, like really scared. And I told them, don't be scared. I'm helping you. And yeah, it was quite interesting. Different nationalities, mainly French speakers, like people from France or from the French speaking part of Belgium. I've had some Germans, yeah, of course. And also some people from other parts of the world, like South America, East Asia, etc., etc. But I have to say one thing that I really noticed during my job as a Luxembourgish language teacher is that, I don't know if it's normal or not, but I have the feeling that on average, people whose mother tongue is far away from Luxembourgish end up being better Luxembourgish speaker than people whose mother tongue is really similar to the Luxembourgish language. I give an example. For example, on my experience, that's my own opinion, okay, my own experience. On average, French speaker speaks better Luxembourgish than German speakers. Which surprised me a lot, because I thought it would be vice versa, but no, on average, I've even met people from other countries, from Kazakhstan, from Turkey, someone was also from, I think from Spain, yeah, also from Spain, someone from Argentina, and they were speaking really good Luxembourgish. And this is crazy, because you were thinking but about the German native speakers, my own experience again, okay? Many of them could understand very well Luxembourgish, but many of them really struggled to speak Luxembourgish, which was a little bit weird to me, because I was thinking bro, for you, it's the easiest way ever. You just change the pronunciation of that word and it's over. But no, some of them really had some problems. Not all of them, but some of them really had big problems, which surprised me a lot. So what I want to say with that is that, when it comes to learning Luxembourgish, as my own experience, I've had given lessons from different levels. So starting from A1.1 to B1.3. So I will show you quickly how it works. Yeah. Good. And yeah, the thing is also, what I really like about my job is also that I was also being creative, that for example, I also started developing my own materials. For example, I've also written a book, Short Stories in Luxembourgish, level A2. And many people really liked it. My students, they really liked it, reading these books. Another thing also about my lessons is also that I also use my own, I would say, imagination. That, for example, instead there's a lot of teacher-student relationship, it's more like a friend. I'm a friend, and the students are also my friends. And sometimes I was also using like some other friends. For example, this guy is Peter. Hello, my name is Peter. Or sometimes I also use a dog, okay, which right now he's not there, but his name is Peter. And I also sometimes use these two objects to make the lesson more interesting. Because guys, you have to imagine, okay, those are adults who are working really hard, and sometimes I really do think it's sometimes really good just to have fun a little bit, just to laugh. And yeah, many people, they really like that, when I use my imagination, like, hello, my name is Peter. Or for example, the dog, which is not right now here, but yeah. And guys, it's quite important, it has to be relaxing. I mean, the Luxembourgish lesson, it should not be like at school, like something you have to do, but much more like a fun activity. It should be fun. That's the main goal. It should be fun. And also, the main goal of my lessons is communication and not perfection. Okay? Just communication. About my lesson style, the thing is, I had two different lesson types. One is general language, and the other one is specific language. What is the difference? Well, for general language, it is much more like, to learn basic vocabulary and also greetings, how to go to a supermarket, how to order something in a restaurant, how to order a ticket on the train station, just for everyday life. This is general language. Specific language is much more like, I've had some clients, who were engineers or doctors. Okay, no, I didn't have doctors, but I had some nurses. Yeah, nurses I've had a lot of project manager, also a lot of people who were competing in IT, a lot of people who were working in IT. And so for these people, they have to learn certain specific vocabulary. Not vocabulary about, how can I order bread at the bakery, no, but, work-related words, For example, I would say, for someone working in IT, I think for this person, words like integer or float or variable, that's much more important than, for example, knowing how to say crocodile in Luxembourgish. And yeah, it was quite interesting. It was really quite interesting, to teach also work-specific Luxembourgish. And the thing was also, it was a nice opportunity for me because I also have a technical background, like I studied electrical engineering. And so for me, it was quite easier to understand what they're working, what their job is about, etc., etc., And I have to say, it was these 2 years, it was so much fun. I didn't work. I was enjoying life to the fullest. I was really enjoying life to the fullest. I'm so happy. Again, I am so happy that I could share with them also my big passion of language learning. Because learning language, a new language, it is nice. It is really nice. And also, when I see my students struggle, sometimes it also reminds me when I was learning languages on my own. And I think that's also this certain empathy that I've had for my students, that you are not alone. You are not alone. I've been there 6 times. Actually, I've even failed learning one language. I could remember I was learning Mandarin Chinese, but then in the end, I've decided to drop it, just to give it up. Not because I'm stupid, but only because I realized, I just move on, do something different. And that's one thing which is really important, also for my lessons. I mean, again, the people who were taking my lessons, many of them, they have to learn Luxembourgish. And there were some people, they wanted to learn Luxembourgish, so I gave my best, I put a lot of effort. There were some people, they didn't want to learn Luxembourgish. So I gave them really, so I was giving them the least work as possible, I wasn't putting much effort because I knew that after my lessons they will forget everything. I don't want to force anyone to learn something. And also the thing is also that about my work, I also had to make exams. And this is quite weird because I was the guy who was given exams, like listening exams, writing exams, like at school, like at university. And it's crazy to imagine that, even though it was, my university time is not really that long time ago, and suddenly I've become a teacher who also have to correct exams, that I can decide if this person can pass or not. I tell you one thing, okay? I've had more than 300 students, and among them only 3 people failed. Yeah, only 3 people failed. But they were really bad, I have to say, they were really bad. But among them, they pass all. Actually, many of them got even really great results at my exam. Like, the result, excellent. Which really reflects my ability as a teacher. That it really does show I'm a good teacher and I'm not really that bad. Yeah. Maybe the main reason why many people, but the thing is also that many people like my lessons. I've got so many good feedbacks. People were really enjoying my lessons. They would say like they could see in me the positivity that I've had, that I was living my dream, I was really living to the fullest. And also about my job is that sometimes I even done some over hours, but I didn't notice it. That's crazy. I didn't even notice it. I was working some over hours, but I didn't notice it because in my mind, the only thing I was thinking about was only that I have to help the student. That's what the only thing. Only to think like I have to help the student to reach his or her goal. Because again, guys, the lessons, they are really expensive, and so you get what you pay. I will do everything in my power to help you. Yeah, but then after 2 years, great experience, but for me it's time now to do something different. I'm so happy again, guys. That's crazy. It's crazy. It is really crazy. Before that, university student just learning languages for fun, and then suddenly, becoming a teacher. Really as a real job. These 2 last years was nice, but now this time, a new chapter will start in my life. For those who don't know, don't know about it, so this one day I will leave Luxembourg. And I will start a new life, like a new chapter in my life. And I would like to document my journey with you guys. Not everything, but some parts. What I also would like to tell you is also that, life, it's not linear. For example, that, I've studied electrical engineering, so I have to do something with electrical engineering. For me, it was not the case. If there's something you're really passionate about and you want to really do it, and even though it could be different, and you also have to relearn again, not relearn, but for example, you have to take some training or something like that. Just do it. Sometimes it's even much more fun, to try different things. Yeah. And the final thing also is, can you speak Luxembourgish? Is it really possible to speak Luxembourgish fluently? The answer is yes, you can. Definitely, it is possible. But it takes time. Great things take time. Yeah. Good. That was it. That was today's video. Thank you very much for watching my video. And next time, probably we will not be here in Luxembourg, but guys. Write down in the comments, where do you think I'm going to? What do you think, guys? I'm really curious. Good. Then have a nice day.